Here in beautiful San Francisco, California. This is home of Faraday. This is where they started. I'm getting to look at their first step-through model. This is the Courland. It's been in kind of development for quite a while. A lot of people were interested in something that was just more accessible. You can come up to it, you can stand over, reach the bars easily. The bars are actually a little bit narrower. It's a wonderful bike. I've been a fan of the original Porter since I first saw it in like 2012 and got to meet the founder, Adam. It's just beautiful. It takes the electric drive components of an electric bike and it hides them. It blends a traditional bicycle look, being lightweight, just being clean and just really beautiful. But of course it does also have a motor. It has a battery. The battery is actually in this down tube right here. I think a lot of people were like, oh, is it in the top tubes on the old one? Because it has these two iconic tubes. You can actually see sort of the leftovers of that here near the controller. No, it's actually in the down tube, which keeps that weight really low and centered, just very clean. The wires, a lot of them are actually integrated through the frame, as you can see right there, some of them coming out through that head tube. And back up here to this rear clip. So there's a lot to talk about on this new bike, several new features. And before I get too much into this, let me just hit the specs real quick, and then I'm gonna cut to Adam, because I actually got to talk with him, get his feedback on what makes this special. So this is a 250 watt internally geared hub motor in the front. Okay, so you're getting pretty good torque and actually decent power and speed, up kind of a 20 mile per hour top speed, but without it being super large or heavy. So it's small, it's kind of minimal, and this one's beautiful. A lot of the 8Fun hub motors that I see they're kind of black or whatever. This one's much more polished, so it really fits the aesthetic of this bike. They've gone with the higher energy density cells, Panasonic, really high quality stuff. So it's a 290 watt hour versus 250 from before. The bicycle weighs about 42.5 pounds. I was just weighing it earlier. That's with fenders and everything, and it's got some great accessories, including like a rear rack, optional front Porter style rack that's very nice. Just awesome stuff. So as I said, I'm gonna cut to Adam, and we're gonna hear a little bit more about the bike. So I'm back at Faraday headquarters. I'm talking to the founder, Adam. How's it going?
Hey, it's going good. It's going great, actually. We're launching our new bike in just a matter of days, which is a long time coming.
Behind the scenes. This is like exclusive right here. I can't even believe it.
For the first time, yeah. No, it's been, it's been a crazy couple months getting ready for this, but like I said, it's been a long time coming, and we're stoked.
Well, a long time. I've kind of been in touch with you since I think 2012 when you were at IDEO and, looking at the first Porter and then riding it and then the S and coming back here. I think it was last year. I was looking at this vision board. Is that what this is? and I was like, oh, look, there's different frame styles going on. We talked about...
They're going to make a new bike someday.
Something's going to happen. Yeah. So I don't know. Tell me about it. I know it's not just the new bike. I'm also super excited about this right here. I have been waiting for that.
Can I get you to model this?
Yeah, can I do it?
Around? Here,
okay, here we go. Let's try this out. I'm always like safety first, right? What do you think? I mean, this enhances the safety by 10. I think this helmet's days are numbered. I'm just gonna wear this while we continue. Is that all right? Okay. So let's go back. What I really wanted to hear from you was, a little bit about maybe your take on the bike, but a lot of people, the first time they watch the review or they ask about the bike, it's very iconic, they really like it, and they're like, oh, the batteries are up here, and I'm like, no, they're down here, and that's enabled you to make this beautiful kind of step-through model. Courland, I'm so honored that you named it after me. I think that's amazing. Actually, so tell me the story about that. What is the name?
So it's good, we named it for you. That's the real story. But no, it's funny, naming is super hard, right?
Yeah.
We're very attached to the Faraday name. The Porter is very near and dear, and this is an important new bike, and what do we name it? And we went through a long brainstorm, kind of left and right all over the place about what do we call this, and you kind of want a name to just stick, right? You don't want to rationalize it, overthink it. You want to just be like, that's it.
Yeah.
And I was lying in bed one night, and we had kind of thought of a name. It was a street name, and I live in Bernal Heights, which is a neighborhood, very hilly neighborhood in the south of San Francisco. And there's a street, Courland is the main street in Bernal. And it's like just a monster hill, like both sides. There's no way to get to Courland without going up a huge hill. And one of our kind of earliest and favorite shops, the New Wheel, is up on perched right on the top of Courland.
That's right. I love those guys. Brett and Karin. Shout out.
Awesome. Yeah, shout out to the New Wheel. So just like, a lot of things kind of felt right about it. And And we're like, all right, Courland. And then it's so funny kind of like tie-in. It turns out court in French means short. So short land, kind of the bike that shortens distances felt like a, I don't know. It just, like I said, it
just
it's
works.
stuck and we love it. So the Courland, here it is.
I love it. Yeah. And you know, just looking at this, I've cut to this, I'm out in the field, like doing test rides and stuff, but there are a couple things that I wanted to see and hear about, like including the app. Do you have that handy? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Let's put it up. So to kind of launch into that. So we're launching the Courland, right? The Courland and the Courland S, the kind of 2 new step-thru models that we're super excited about.
Yeah.
They're great. There's a lot of new things that come with just the new frame style, right? So obviously the step-thru is going to be great for folks who, you know, maybe want to ride in a skirt or just kind of want a little bit more ease of getting over the bike, right?
Yeah, kind of the
just
step over.
You know, literally, you can just step over it. It's awesome. You know,
yeah.
You don't have to worry about bar height, so that's great. You know, one thing with the Portour, because it's a horizontal top tube bike, is, you know, if you're, let's say 5 foot, it's potentially challenging to fit that frame size. And this, with the Courland, we can get to, if you're like 5 or 4'10", you can ride this bike. So we're able to basically accommodate all riders.
Awesome.
And that's been a huge goal for a long time, is to make sure that, you know, anybody who wants to ride a Faraday can comfortably, easily ride it. So we nailed that here, which is great. But a few other things just to point out that are really exciting. So one is we've been, you know, it's been what now, 3-4 years since we launched the Portour.
Yeah.
We've been kind of working in the background the whole time with our battery supplier, testing a ton of batteries, and we're launching with the Courland a new cell. So it's going to be a bigger, higher capacity cell. So
higher energy density kind of
higher
thing?
energy density, yeah. So we already, I mean, our pack is already like at the bleeding edge of kind of energy density as it is. A lot of power fit into a very small frame. It's going to get better, so we're adding about 20%, which means rather than 20 miles, you're going to be closer to 24, 25 miles.
Cool.
The new pack. So that's great, right? You know, everyone always loves a little more range on the bike.
Yeah.
That's coming. We have a new motor. We worked with our motor manufacturer, got a custom tuned motor that's going to be, again, just a little smoother, a little more powerful, a little more efficient. It's going to help out in terms of feel, in terms of range, those things.
Yeah. It still looks beautiful.
And it looks beautiful, yeah, right. It's the same kind of great feel. So, you know, we've rolled, I think, a lot of things that have just been in the background and kind of ongoing work into this bike. So really, it's kind of our best bike ever.
Cool.
In that sense, we're launching a new color. We don't have it here.
What?
Yeah,
a new color?
It's Stingray blue. Very beautiful. Inspired by the kind of the early '60s Corvettes.
Corvette. Love it.
It's awesome. It's really
T-top.
nice.
Did that come in a T-top? Oh man, I'm excited.
Picture like white wall tires, beautiful blue. It's going to be.
Yeah.
I want one actually.
Okay, sweet.
And then you know, the other thing I think that's coming with the new bike and the color and the models is a couple new pieces of tech, right? That we're very excited about.
Yeah.
So,
including the app.
Including
I'm excited.
The app. So let's check it out. So, you know, this is something we actually. I'm
gonna hide your password here and just do a nice little flyby on the bike.
This goes back to our original Kickstarter, right, where our stretch goal was to do a mobile app, and it was always kind of a cool idea that, like, you know, with the kind of the design of the bike, right. One thing we love about all the Faraday bikes is they don't have a big pop-up display, right? So
it's just really intuitive over here.
Super simple, you know, a couple positions there. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to ride the bike. You hop on, you've got
or get
gears,
distracted.
Or get distracted, right? Gears, brakes, selector, battery indicator, and that's it. But you know, we certainly know that there's an opportunity to have more interaction, more kind of ability to tune or get data or whatever else from the bike. So an app has always been very cool.
Yeah.
So we've done it. So this is
it.
This is still in beta, right? So it's got a ways to go. But basically, you kind of see you've got a kind of a map there. And this will, when it's all good to go and released, it'll show you range on that. So you'll see if I'm in downtown San Francisco, I can ride over to Sausalito or Tiburon based on my, my battery. So
wow,
right.
Yeah, it gives you kind of a range estimate based on your charge level. And
yeah.
then is that also based on what, like the highest output, or does it dynamically?
So that'll adjust exactly based on if you're in kind of boost or standard or whatever.
Yeah.
That is. So right now this is all charged up. It's ready to go for you to take it out and hit the town. So you're good to go. And you can see, actually, it's kind of cool if you switch the modes here in that lower right-hand corner. So your boost
rocket,
mode.
Yeah, love it.
This is kind of a fun little display. The lights, the lights currently on the bike right now are always on, which is a great safety feature. Frankly, it's a very low draw. It's a high efficiency LED. You're going to blind.
I love this. Sorry.
So we love the lights, but if you wanted to, let's say, take it indoors or for whatever reason have them off, you can now go in and turn it to ambient light sensor, where the daytime it's off, nighttime it automatically comes on.
Where is the ambient light sensor? Is that your?
There's a little tiny pinhole in the back right there. You can barely see that.
Dude,
So that's kind of where we're.
This is awesome. So how has this changed? Is there's so many cool things to talk about here.
I know. Well, let's get to that in a sec. So we got lights. You can turn them off entirely if you want. Back on. We'll have for the rear, you can turn it to like blinky or strobe if you want. So a lot of customization. One thing, actually two things I'm really excited about. Actually, I could talk about this for days, but you'll have the option in here. We can go into vehicle settings, right? So I'm going to go into my boost mode. Actually, let's go into standard mode. I can dial in my power settings. So this is my max speed right here.
That is awesome. So many people that I've been talking to recently, some of them a little bit older, and they're like, I don't want to go 20 miles per hour. That's too fast.
You know, it's funny. My parents are a perfect example. I love my parents to death.
Yeah.
They both ride Faradays. Love them. And you know, it's actually really interesting. My mom is a classic. She's a lovely 60-plus-year-old woman who doesn't want to tear around the streets of Portland, Oregon. She wants a little help. And we've done exactly this with her bike. We've dialed the speed back a little bit so she feels comfortable in the streets. We've kept the power as high as she wants it, but we've turned, this is basically the multiplier between how hard you pedal and how much power you get out. We dialed it down a little bit for her. The result is she gets as much help as she wants, but a little more conservative ride style. She gets like 30+ miles of range. I mean, it's crazy. So the cool thing about this is, and actually when the app is done, it'll show you a little range estimate down here. So, she likes to go out for more kind of long recreational leisurely rides, where she might ride 30 miles, and she can just kind of tune that in and get exactly what she wants. So that's really cool. I'm excited about that. You can adjust both this is the regular mode and then boost mode right there.
So they each have their own profile.
Yeah, exactly. So you can set up, if you still want that option of like, boom, full max, right? You can keep boost at 100%, and then you can just set the standard assist to kind of be your more leisurely kind of stroll.
That is cool.
So that's cool. And the other thing too is with a lot of new kind of classifications around e-bike speed coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll certainly have the option to say, if you want to potentially go into that class 3 higher speed and go above 20 miles an hour.
Wow.
That's a potential option here.
That is amazing.
Cool. Like a lot of people are always like, can we kind of get a little more speed out of it? So that'll let us do that, it's exciting. And this, this also is the first gen of the app. And like I said, this is really like the development version of the first gen. So it's got a long ways to go. But, really as we go and we add more features and stuff, in time, we can really make your bike totally customizable. There's a lot more kind of things about the ride and how it works that we can add to this.
Yeah, and we're in February 2016, so when people watch this in the future,
I know,
it may be there.
We'll be there, and this is coming, speaking of the future, this is coming in kind of mid to late 2016. So the Courland will ship with compatibility for it, and then by the fall, probably September, let's say, it'll be on the App Store, on Google Play.
Okay, cool.
So iOS, Android. And it'll be ready to go. And
you talked about it being compatible with the Courland. Is it compatible with all of your original Porturo bikes? And
it's going to be a mix, and that's one thing that we'll have a lot of information up on the site about kind of the compatibility. So with bikes currently shipping, you'll need a firmware update. So the hardware is there on the bike. You'll just need to update the software.
How do you do that? You plug into the...
Yeah, you plug it in currently right here. There's a little connector that you can get a USB connector in there to hook it up to the computer. That's how we actually do a lot of diagnostics, and our dealers can do diagnostics on the bikes now.
Okay, I know there will be more info, so people can get there.
A cool thing with the app, again, this will be a future feature, but we'll have wireless firmware updates. So in the future, hopefully by 2017, if we have a new release where we have a better motor tune, it's going to give you more efficiency. We put some new features in. You'll just go into your phone, hit
you like tether your
firmware.
Yeah,
it's like very electric car Tesla-esque. So
that is cool.
That's a whole new level of kind of control, features for users, upgradability. The idea of your bike just getting better and better with time that we're super excited about, and that's really going to come with the app. So
cool.
The other thing that we'll be able to do with the app is we're doing a new piece of hardware, an accessory you can add onto the bike. So the cool thing with the app is going to be free, right?
Yeah.
Download it through whatever your app store is. And that'll be available for any Faraday user. And we're going to do an add-on, which is going to be if you want extra security for your bike. So you're maybe in San Francisco, like we are. You're understandably concerned about bike theft. We're going to have a GPS add-on, which will. So you think about your phone has GPS in it, right?
Yeah, like Find My iPhone.
Find My
thing,
iPhone, right?
Yeah.
But if your bike is stolen, your phone is with you, and your bike is unfortunately somewhere else. So we're adding GPS and GSM, which is cell communication, basically technology to the bike. So you can track where your bike is. So you'll go into the app and click Find My Bike, and it will pop up and tell you exactly where it is. You can then work with local law enforcement and get your bike back.
Wow. How does that work, Adam? Because, you know, if the bike has an internet connection of its own, I mean, is there a service fee for that, or how do you keep that going?
Yeah, so the cost of that accessory, which will be, you know, available, so current customers can add that to their bikes, depending, actually, let's say, anyone with Porter now will have to upgrade their controller. So there's a bit of kind of,
and that's like this thing right here, right?
This guy right here in the back. Yeah, the Courtlands will come basically pre-baked with all the required cables and connectors to add this.
Yeah.
But you basically just add this thing on, and the cost of the module, the little like hardware piece, will include a year of a service plan.
Okay, well there you go.
So you're good to go, and then it's a pretty nominal. I don't know the exact amount, but it's a pretty nominal amount if you want to kind of keep extending that out. So
Sweet.
we really want it to not be kind of a burden, like a recurrent. It's not like another cell phone data plan.
Yeah,
so it's pretty straightforward, but it's great because that'll add, I think, a huge measure of safety and security and confidence to people. You know, that coupled with, you know, I think a good insurance program is what a lot of people do.
That's right. Yeah, the insurance.
Really great. So we just want that kind of idea of like theft and that fear just to go away.
Perfect.
I mean, I think on that note too, we have really had a small number of bikes stolen ever. So I think 3 out of the sort of 700 or 800 we've ever shipped. So it looms high in people's minds, I think. And fortunately, the reality is that people have actually been quite safe with their bikes. But we want people to feel totally safe.
I love it. I'm definitely back to kind of cutting edge. You've always had beautiful aesthetics, and I think the balance and just how everything's integrated. The belt drive, one of the first bikes that I tested, e-bikes that had that, and so to be on the cutting edge with the GPS is also very cool.
The belt continues to be a perpetual favorite, so we love it. So,
super quiet and clean. Yeah.
So the other thing coming with the, you know, we've got the app, the GPS.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be great. The other thing that we've wanted to add is a range extension, right?
Yeah.
So again, e-bikes. One of the cool things about Faraday bikes in general is that because they don't weigh a ton, they're less than 40 pounds. They have, you know, great components like that belt drive you mentioned. They're just very efficient bikes. You know, if you drain your battery or you ride it with the power off, it actually is a remarkably smooth bike.
Yeah, so it's actually pretty natural.
Yeah,
you don't
really
feel like you're lagging.
And lots of our customers actually tell us that they ride it with the power off. So, you know, they might be out wanting to get more exercise. They might be out with their family who don't have electric bikes and they don't want to leave their family in the dust. You know, whatever the reason, people actually do that a fair amount, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it's more fun with the power on, right?
Yeah,
it's a little rocket ship. And
yeah, I love that.
So we've come up with
this, boy,
which is our external battery.
Gosh.
So this is awesome.
I love it. I mean, I've seen the pictures. We just, you know, we were just looking at
the campaign,
pictures in the campaign, but
the real thing is beautiful, right? So it's got a little click on the back here. Actually a lock. You can see that right there. So you can lock it on.
Secure it to the bike.
Secure it to the bike, right? So, you know, one cool thing about it is you could leave this on all the time. So this pack right here has the identical capacity to the battery in the bike, which is about 290 watt hours on the new battery. So you're gonna be close to 600 with this on, which is gonna give you probably 45 to 50 miles of range, which is huge.
Wow.
So basically just clicks on right there, secure little attachment, locks in place if you want it, and then just plugs right into the back right there.
Okay, and so we're kind of daisy-chained here. If you wanted to charge the whole bike, do you plug in here or do you charge them separately? How does that work?
That's exactly. So the nice thing about this is it's dead simple to use, right? You don't have to think about what was my capacity here, what's there, am I switching batteries, am I writing code? It's
like, which one's charged, which one isn't?
It's super simple. So if you plug the bike in, right, you're gonna connect the battery, plug it in. To charge both batteries, basically, in parallel, all you need to do is just plug your regular Faraday charger right into there.
Yeah.
Same charge port, just plug it in. That'll charge the whole thing up. If you want to, let's say you are out for a bike ride, you stop to get lunch or get a cup of coffee, you want to top off your bike, you're at the office, you want to bring your battery in. Very cool, you just disconnect this, unlock it, pop this off. Take this inside, charge that up, and you're going to have another 25 miles of range.
I see. Right, so that's for people who maybe you can't bring your bike in the office. You've locked that, but you can bring the little satchel. I love it.
Totally. And I even think about people who maybe want to go out and ride a Poway one, right up the coast. Like, frankly, you could ride along. You could stop in again, get a cup of coffee, get a cup of espresso, and top this guy up and just kind of.
Do you have a charger laying around? Because I really love the metal. You know, this is durable and it kind of like locks in. This is one of the better charger ports that I've seen.
You probably won't float around. This is the same. It's the same connector here as on our charger, right? So again, the idea was to really like make that fit right in there and use the same port there.
And the charger itself, if I remember right, it's just a couple pounds, and it's like the little black plastic guy.
I'll grab one here.
Cool. Yeah, because for people who do want to go to the coffee shop or whatever, it's super light. You know, just a nice little guy 2-amp charger.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the metal piece that I was talking about. I like that. It's definitely unique in the world of e-bikes.
Yeah. So these are nice. They're super reliable. They're robust. You know, it's a little die-cast metal part. So these hold it forever.
Cool.
And that's light. And the battery pack too, it's not more than about 5, maybe 6 pounds. So it's not too bad. It's not going to add a ton of weight to your bike, which is nice. You know, we're very kind of proud of the lightweight of the bikes to begin with.
Yeah.
Kind of get a feel for that.
Yeah.
And you could even, I mean, frankly, you could throw that in your backpack or your laptop bag or your pannier if you didn't want to have it on the bike for whatever reason.
Or your rack. I mean, there's so many cool things to talk about here.
So yeah, it's
I love that. It just
clicks right in. It's got a nice satisfying snap. You plug it in, you're good to go.
And for those that wanted a different saddle, I mean, I love it. It looks great. But someone who just loves gel saddles or something like that, it looks like you could still fasten that to the saddle rails.
Oh yeah, no, it's all standard. So you could put a brick saddle or your big gel saddle on there, or really whatever you wanted to.
Okay.
So
good to know. Good to know. Trying to dig in. So that is spectacular. You've got more range. You've got a better way to control your bike with the app. We've got the step-thru model, so it's more accessible to people. Yep. Is it also the frame size like a little bit like shorter? So
the kind of the proportions are similar to our current ones in terms of sort of reach and whatnot. But again, we've if you imagine our small size on the Porter, we've kind of dropped the seat height a little bit. So you've probably got.
And it's angled, so kind of brings you in a little bit more.
Yeah, it's and actually the other thing too is we made it a little more upright. So we've heard feedback from a lot of folks that they really like an upright posture. And the Porter is nice. It's actually because the bars are very swept back.
Yeah.
Some people I think have an impression that it's going to be an aggressive bent over race bike.
I did at first, but yeah, it's like surprisingly comfortable.
Yeah, it's nice and upright. And this one we've actually taken it a step further. The bars are a little less swept back. It's a little more of kind of a 45-degree angle. But just relative to the seat height, they're a little higher up. It just
I'm looking at the you've got like a classic Porter over there, and you can see the seat height. And you could always dial that in. The seat is up a little bit, but this one's definitely a little bit down, and there's still some range there. So.
Yeah, it's a little more up. And the other thing too, we have an accessory you can add to the stem to raise that up about 4 inches, which has been a popular one in the Porter. We have a good number of people who add that on to really get kind of a that Dutch style fully upright.
This accessory that you're talking about, is it just more of these spacers, or what's the?
It's called a stem extender. It basically is like it looks a little bit like another. Actually, let me grab one. I'll show you.
Yeah, cool.
Actually, Michael has one on his bike right here. It's just oh, here we go. Here. Let's take a look at that.
Is this your bike, Michael?
It is.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh man.
So that's it right there. It's just basically bolts on. It just raises the whole thing up. So you get probably 4 inches out of that.
That's awesome.
Which again, for folks who want it, just gives kind of more of an upright.
And the bell. This is the little click. I love it. So Adam, one of the things I like about the Porter is that you could have that front rack, kind of the Porter style rack. Is that what this is called?
Yeah, the Porter rack.
Yeah, really sturdy, and it's like frame based, so when you turn it stays straight, and it was really well engineered. It sounds like there's some updates happening with your rear rack too, right?
Yeah, some new stuff. So first off, the front rack, the Porter rack, that goes on the Courland.
Yeah, show me that. It's this special
same
piece.
Way. We have this bracket, right? The same one from the Porter. Kind of clips on like that, and you would screw that in place. We won't do that now, just for kind of easy use. But basically, those just kind of tuck in there. That plugs in, and then we'd put a bolt right in there, and you'd be good to go.
Look at that. Yeah, I just want to do this. Yes.
Yeah. And it's great. I mean, I came into work today with my bag right in there, and I love it. So that's a favorite feature of ours and a lot of our riders, and it will work just as well with the.
Does it include this bungee? Is that it just
kind
matches
and all the stuff down, keeps it in place.
Cool.
So we'll pop that off. So it's funny because people ask a lot. They're like, "When are you going to make a cargo bike?" And I sort of jokingly reply, like, we have a cargo bike. The Porter is a great cargo bike.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's not a long tail.
Doesn't have that, the extra long rack thing.
But yeah, with that front rack on there, you can haul a ton of stuff. And the rear rack as well, you can haul, bags or whatever you want to put on there. But one thing I think that's great with the new bike, really, the Courland is cool because we actually have a ton of parents with the Porter who put a kid seat on the back for taking the kids around, going to school.
Yeah, car seat kind of thing.
Car seat kind of thing, right. a lot of folks put kind of like a burley or a tag along, or
yeah. Does that work pretty well? You just with the little whatever it is.
All that stuff just goes right on the drop out there, so you just bolt it in, and all that stuff. It's just standard hardware, so that's all great. But the one thing with a horizontal bike or horizontal top tube bike like the Portor, right, is you do have to kind of you got to throw the leg over the top, right?
Right.
So one thing that's cool about the Courland, obviously, is that's much easier. So if you have a kid seat on the back, it's just easier to kind of
just to steady the whole bike. And I mean, if you had a kid back there, that's extra weight. So
yeah, you don't want to be kind of tipping your kid off. So,
it's sideways.
People doing it works great. We have a lot of folks who do it, but this is it's that much easier, right? Which is really nice. And so kind of, in a nod to that, one thing we've done that we're really excited about with the rear rack. So that's kind of the rear rack as it is. It's got the cool wood matching the fenders.
Yeah.
But it's
bamboo.
I took the screws out of the bottom here, but if you take the screws out and kind of pop that off, there's a little window in there.
Yeah.
And what that is, these guys. This is a company called Yep. This is like one of our favorite kids seats. That's great.
Cool.
And they make this cool adapter here where just
set it right in there.
It just pops right in place.
Kind of slide it forward a little bit.
Yeah. Am I doing this wrong?
Yeah, no, you're good.
There we go.
Yeah, just kind of gently getting. Hey, it
that?
has this similar lock thing. That reminds me of your battery.
Actually, didn't even notice that.
That's cool.
That's the exact same one. So that is really cool. That pops right on there.
And you just twist it, and it kind of levers it.
Yeah, this thing, the way I'll take it off and we'll try a little cleaner installation there. It basically just get the straps out of the way. Goes right in there, pops. There we go. Pops right in place, and then you just crank this thing down. That kind of locks in, and it's locked on.
Sturdy, yeah.
Right. And it's just really nice because then you've got a great connection to the bike. We designed it so you've got a lot of space in here so you can get in and turn it off.
Yeah, because their feet, there's still a lot of room back there. Even if you had the little battery thing, it seems like there would still be.
Battery. I've got big old feet, so when I'm pedaling, I don't hit the child seat, which is really nice.
Oh, yeah.
There's clearance for the heels. So we put a lot of thought into kind of just the design of that and where it goes and stuff. And it's nice because if you're riding and you have your kid seat and you want to take your kids to school, but then they're at school and you want to go off and groceries or whatever you want, you don't want the big kid seat. It's really just you hold that.
Do the twist thing and pop it off.
Yeah, you unscrew it and then it just pops right out.
What's the weight limit on your rack?
20 kilograms.
So 20 kilograms. How about the front?
Yeah.
Is it
the front is, there you go.
Oh yeah, max 20 kilograms. Because I can't do the conversion off the top of my head, but just thinking about how large a child is. I was looking at this earlier, and you've got the bosses kind of on the side. So there's these 4 points, and it does seem pretty sturdy. So.
Yeah, and it's tested to all the EN standards, which is the European Commission for kind of the best kind of bike testing out there. So
Sweet.
It's it'll whatever your kid weighs, and kids weigh different things, but whatever your kid weighs, it works. It works.
If they fit in the car seat, it's gonna work.
Yeah, and that's a recommendation from
Okay, well, it might be time to dash back out into the field and finish the review.
Go for a bike ride, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been, it's wonderful. It's an honor to get to check this stuff out as it happens. And I appreciate the times we've spent in the past too, Adam.
Absolutely. Well, you're seeing us here. We're 24 hours away from the launch of our Kickstarter, so you're getting the behind the scenes for the final preparation. So we just can't wait to put this stuff out in the wild. It's going to be great.
Good stuff. Well, continued good luck to you.
All right. Thanks, Corey.
So that was really cool. It's awesome to get to hang out and kind of go behind the scenes and feel like a part of this company as it's grown. They launched on Kickstarter. This bike is going to be on Kickstarter as well. It's just sort of building momentum and generating the money that it takes to go from sort of a 3D printed prototypes to something that's this polished and refined. So I really like that. Again, steel frame, very, very comfortable to ride, surprisingly so. We've been riding around the streets here of San Francisco. There are bumps, there are train tracks. This is Michael over here. He's from the company. And he's got one. Everyone in the company kind of rides their Porter to work on a daily basis. I think a lot of them are going to end up getting this one. And quite a few more petite riders, females that are interested in this type of bike are going to be really happy. And I've actually really enjoyed it too. It feels comfortable. It's very upright. There's no suspension. There's no seat post suspension going on here. But the tires, they're a little bit larger than they first were. So 26 by 1.75. So 1.75, that's kind of the diameter. Just a little bit thicker. And They do have sort of a Kevlar guard as well, so hopefully you're not going to run into the flats as much, but you're still going to have some cushion. And again, just the seating position, looking at the bike, it's hard to describe the feeling, but it's really great. I also wanted to comment on that nice scissoring kickstand that they've had. Just beautiful pedals, nice kind of platform style going on, the bamboo fenders. The difference, again, on this bike, sort of the higher end Courland, is that you've got that internally geared hub, Shimano Alfine. Right up here, you've got the shifters. Blast through those even when you're not riding. And I tried this a few times during ride tests, and it shifts really smoothly into gear just as you start pedaling. I love that it's got sort of a torque and cadence sensing bottom bracket. You can see sort of the Niner Biocentric 2. So it's a little bit fatter, and it sort of rotates the bottom bracket into place so that this belt can sort of tighten. And this is using the CDX. It has a center track, so the belt doesn't just sort of slough from side to side as you're riding. So great all-around drivetrain. 9 gears is enough to, kind of conquer anything, especially around here in San Francisco. You go down to a lower gear, climb really easily. You can click up to the higher level of assist, sort of the turbo, or you can just go to the basic pedal assist to conserve and really maximize your range. So yeah, those are some of the highlights of the more expensive version, $37.99. So you are paying a premium for sure for this bike, but you're getting something very, very unique. And now it's available in more parts of the world. I think originally with Kickstarter, it took a long time to get out, and now they actually have a supply chain in place, got a good warranty. The bamboo fenders on this one are very nice too. It just adds another level of kind of beauty. We've got hydraulic disc brakes on this bike, so really smooth, but pretty powerful stopping power. And again, for being so light on its own, that's, to me, it's almost like overkill, but there's definitely a sense of control that you get with hydraulic that's nice. And as soon as you put on the front rack or the rear rack with the kid seat and stuff, then it's nice to have that extra power. So I love that the bike kind of scales that way. The integrated light that's sort of always on, we were talking about, it's just super strong. You kind of forget about it, that it's even there. Same with the rear light, but all the wires for them, they're going through the tubes. So you'll notice there's no wires anywhere really to be seen. It's going right through the head tube. It's just awesome. You can actually park this outside. It can get banged around a little bit, and it's not going to get damaged. So it's like a beautiful kind of an elegant look, but it's actually a really tough bike when it comes down to it. So I love that. I've been talking about all the different specs and everything. I think it's a good chance to hop on and ride around a little bit more and give you some idea of what it's like to be on this and what it sounds like. Because you do hear a little bit of motor noise from the internally geared hub up front, but it's nothing too bad. Just hop on. Okay. I'm in turbo mode. Really reminds me of like a Prius when you hear those coming along the street. Just kind of that electronic whirring sound. It's nice. Nothing like there's no, the city noise, just the sound of cars and everything really overpowers it, but you do feel it. It gets you up to speed. One of the drawbacks of this display is that you don't have how fast you're going. You don't have your range or an odometer or a timer or anything like that. It's just meant to be super clean. All you have is like an e-ink display that sort of gives you your battery voltage level. But of course now they have that app that's going to give you even more information, and whether you want to mount that or just pull it out occasionally, I think you kind of got everything you need. Found a quiet area. I wanted to show you the belt drive and just how silent that is. really tight, fluid feeling. And one of the things I think about with step-throughs, I kind of ask, like, how stiff, how rigid is the frame? And having two tubes here, and one that's, you know, full of batteries, and there's another kind of sleeve that the batteries go into, I'm not feeling a lot of frame flex, which is really nice. Just gives you a sense of control. But then, you know, you do get the vibration dampening qualities of steel frame. So I'm just on regular assist right now. I'm gonna boost it. Yeah, and you can really feel like the torque sensing in it, because if I just pedal gently, yeah, the motor kicks in, but if you push, it accelerates, you just blast right off. Yeah, fun to get to share this and get to hang out with Adam. I hope it's helped you guys. Maybe you've had this bike, you've had the older version, considering the step-through model. I feel like the support is there. There's definitely a community around this thing. Ride safe if you're out in traffic. I see a lot of people commuting here by bike in the early morning. It's a wonderful way to get around, really fun. And I'll have the full write-up on this back at the site. And for more electric bikes, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com.